Hello, and welcome to World Football Africa. I am Charles. In today's edition, we take you to the dugout and put the target on the tactical generals in the final of the African Football League. Adil Ramzi of WYDAD Casablanca and Rulani Mokwena of MAMELODI'S SUNDOWNS. Two of Africa's finest football coaches, young, talented, and progressive. Ramzi and Mokwena represent the new breed of African tacticians. They have style and substance, doing it on the biggest stages. These, ladies and gentlemen, are the custodians of African football both now and in the future. Let's start with the situation report and look at some of the other motifs at this point in the African Football League.
I'm going to paradise. Paradise.
For starters, it's 4 days since the first leg of the African Football League final. That means it's 2 days to the second leg in Pretoria. That's exciting. And there's just so much to talk about at this point. Whether it is previewing the second leg or looking back at the first, which was hosted and claimed 2-1 by WYDAD Casablanca. In fact, let's start there. It was a historic occasion. Obviously, the first AFL Final. The atmosphere in the Mohammed V Stadium was electric. The entire stadium was covered in Casablanca crimson and black. And the game was a thriller from start to finish. It was played at a frenetic pace. Both teams really came out to play, and that is what you always want to see in a final. Finals can be cagey and overly tactical. This wasn't like that at all. This one had sparkling performances and a special goal or two. Montasa Latimi was incredible throughout the first half. He tore down the right wing inside 7 minutes and nearly opened the scoring. It was an amazing show of skill and a taste of better things to come. Then you had Lesi Banko's chance in the 38th minute that could have opened the scoring for MAMELODI'S SUNDOWNS. He could only find the net, the side netting on that occasion. Latimi's effort secured the breakthrough in the 41st minute after he once again destroyed MAMELODI'S left-sided defense with a nasty, and I mean nasty, piece of brilliant skill. That it was finished off by an own goal from COETZEE owed less to the defender's incompetence than Latimi's special approach play. Then there is the equalizer, which was scored in the 74th minute by BOUTAIL, a former WYDAD loanee, who returned home with a bang. But no doubt, the icing on the cake was SERRHAT's 70th minute winner for WYDAD. The clearance from Marcelo Allen that set up SERRHAT's goal was poor, but there was nothing else wrong about the finish. Man, that was some strike, hit with venom and precision by a player who, get this, has only 2 goals in his professional career. Can you believe that? That goal was worth winning any contest, and it could yet prove decisive. Although Hamadou Eluni's rocket in the 86th minute not bounced off the bar, we could already be hailing Casablanca as inaugural AFL champions. It didn't, and it will be all to play for in the second leg. But as interesting as all those details are, the aforementioned clash of the coaches is just as intriguing. Because as the final of the AFL proves, African coaches are once again leading the way. This is a very important fact, and in many ways one of the most significant takeaways from the first season of the Africa Football League. And it's not just those two, because 5 of the 8 coaches in the tournament are or were African coaches. Only Simba, with Brazilian Roberto Oliveira, Alali coached by Swiss Marcel Koller, and Petro de Luanda coached by Portuguese Alexandre Santos, were without an African coach. Esperance were managed by homeboy Tarek Tabit, Enyimba by Finidi George, the former Nigerian superstar, while TP Mazembe were coached by former Senegalese footballer Lamine Diaye. The fact that the 2 finalists are managed by African coaches is significant. It continues the trend witnessed at the 2022 World Cup, where all 5 representatives from Africa were led by African coaches. And as Morocco found out, it was a great call. Morocco's Walid Regragui wrote history after leading his nation to the semi-finals, becoming the first African country to reach the last 4. The performances of Casablanca and Mamelodi are proof that what we saw at the World Cup was no fluke, that African coaches are good enough to handle the top jobs in African football. This is important because for African football to develop, the heavy lifting will have to be done by African coaches. And the easiest way to encourage the growth and development of African coaches, both in quantity and quality, is to give them a chance, especially for the marquee positions. Ramzi and Mokwena deserve credit for giving African coaches a good name. You really have to admire how they've handled themselves in the tournament, and especially in their spells at their current clubs. Of course, the contrast between the two managers has some key differences, and who knows what impact they will have on the destination of the second leg, and subsequently the AFL trophy. Ramzi is 10 years Mokwena senior. He had by far a more successful playing career, enjoying spells at Udinese, PSV and AZ Alkmaar. He also represented Morocco on 34 occasions. Rulani doesn't have a playing career to speak of. He went no further than the youth system of Silver Stars, before quickly going down the coaching path as Mamelodi assistant in 2014. Ramzi started his badges in 2014 as youth coach for PSV, where he spent 4 years before moving to the first team in 2019, working as the assistant coach for the first team and then head coach of the reserve team. Ramzi joined WYDAD just last month, and his impact is clear, and you can rest assured he will pull out all the stops for the second leg of the AFL Final, which is clearly the biggest test of his career, just as it is for Rulani. It was interesting to see how both coaches managed themselves on the touchline. There's a contrast there too, isn't there? Ramzi came across as more measured and thoughtful, while Rulani was very expressive and animated. Rulani's reaction leading up to the penalty was priceless. He just went crazy with his appeal for a handball. And the whole time you're thinking, I thought we have VAR, you know? But that's just who Rulani is. And it is great because when you're a player and you see your coach so involved in the game, kicking every ball and blocking every pass, it gives you a massive boost. Rulani is certainly cut from the fabric of modern day coaches. And at just 36, he's basically postmodern. It's so refreshing that the AFL Final is not just an affair between two African coaches, but two African coaches with a progressive approach. Both set out their teams to play, and if the second leg is as exciting as the first was, we are in for it. Of course, Rulani is not shy of a big comment. For instance, after the AFL first leg final, he thought WYDAD captain Jabrani should have been sent off for a handball that led to the penalty, implying that it was inexcusable, if not highly suspicious, that the red card wasn't brandished. The comment was, these things happen in football. They sure do, and we can't say for sure what will happen next. What we know is this: African coaches are now good value, and that is why I can confidently say that whoever you support in the second leg of the inaugural African Football League final, the winner will be an African coach. Thanks for watching.